Family, let me tell you something. The heart of a woman is one of the most powerful forces on this earth. It can build nations, heal broken spirits, and carry generations forward. Yet too often that same heart gets overlooked, undervalued, and even abused. Today I want to remind every woman and every man listening too of the unshakable power of a woman's heart. And I want to break it down in a way that you can carry with you, apply to your life, and pass on to the next generation. The heart is the source of nurture. A woman's heart is where nurture begins. From the way she carries life in her womb to the way she carries the burdens of a family, she is naturally designed to give. But here's the truth. Giving does not mean depleting. A woman must learn to pour from her overflow, not her emptiness. When she nurtures herself first, she multiplies her ability to nurture others. Education here is simple self. Care is not selfish, it is survival. The heart holds resilience. Life will throw storms, heartbreaks, disappointments, and betrayals, but a woman's heart has the ability to rise again. Think about history. Women have stood tall through wars, oppression, single motherhood, broken homes, and still rebuilt. Resilience is not about never breaking. It's about breaking and still rising stronger. That's the lesson. Resilience is learned through trials, and a woman's heart is the classroom of survival. The heart is a compass of intuition. There's a God-given wisdom inside a woman that speaks before the facts line up. That intuition, that gut feeling, it is the compass of her heart. Too many times society has silenced that voice, made her doubt it, or told her she's too emotional. But the truth is, emotion is information. Emotion is energy that guides decisions. When a woman learns to trust her intuition, she protects herself, her family, and her future. The heart is capable of boundless love. The love of a woman is deep, sacrificial, and unconditional. But here's the teaching moment. Love without boundaries turns into self-destruction. A woman must understand that her love is a treasure, not a liability. The unshakable heart does not just give love freely to anyone. It gives love wisely. It knows that the highest form of love is loving yourself enough to walk away from what hurts you. The heart is a place of healing when life wounds us. It is often a woman's heart that becomes the sanctuary of healing. From mothers who comfort their children to women who stand by friends in pain, they embody restoration. But the message here is this: a woman must also allow herself to heal. Scars are not signs of weakness. They're proof of survival. Education here is key. True healing starts when forgiveness replaces bitterness and faith replaces fear. The heart is a legacy builder. What a woman carries in her heart doesn't stop with her. It flows into her children, her community, her legacy. When her heart is strong, she raises strong sons who respect women and strong daughters who respect themselves. That's the ripple effect. The unshakable heart does not just live for today, it plants seeds for tomorrow. That is why protecting the woman's heart is protecting the future. So remember this: the unshakable power of a woman's heart is not just about love, not just about sacrifice. It's about nurture, resilience, intuition, boundaries, healing, and legacy. A woman's heart is the foundation of families, the pulse of communities, and the strength of generations. If you are a woman listening right now, never underestimate your worth. And if you are a man, never overlook her value. Because when you honor the heart of a woman, you honor the very heartbeat of humanity. A woman's heart has always been a source of nurture, and that is no accident. It is part of her divine design. From the moment a woman is created, there is something within her that knows how to care, how to carry, and how to give. You see it in the way a mother holds her child, the way a sister stands up for her siblings, or even the way a wife supports her husband when the world seems against him. Nurture is not just about giving food or shelter. It is about pouring into someone's soul, speaking life when they feel like giving up, and reminding them of who they are when they've forgotten. But here's where the lesson comes in. The same nurturing heart that gives so much to others must also learn to give to itself. Too often, women are told that their value is in how much they sacrifice. Society paints the picture of the selfless woman who gives until she has nothing left. But when you look closely, you realize that kind of giving is not love, it's depletion. And when a woman is depleted, when her heart is running on empty, she can no longer nurture the way she was designed to. She becomes tired, frustrated, and sometimes even resentful, because she's been pouring out without ever being poured back into. That's why it's so important to understand the principle of overflow. Overflow means you are so full within yourself spiritually, emotionally, mentally, that when you give, you are not losing, you are sharing. Think of it like a cup. If your cup is half empty and you keep pouring into everyone else's, eventually you will run dry. But when your cup is full and overflowing, you can give without losing your peace, your joy, or your health. This is where self-care comes in. Self-care is not selfish, it is wisdom. It is making sure your mind is at peace, your body is cared for, your spirit is aligned, and your emotions are processed. Because when you are whole, the nurture that comes out of you is not heavy, it is light. And here's the truth, nurture starts with how you treat yourself. If you don't show yourself compassion, how can you give authentic compassion to others? If you don't give yourself rest, how can you have the energy to carry anyone else? If you don't feed your own soul with positivity, wisdom, and truth, how can you speak life into the people you love? A woman who nurtures herself first sets the standard for everyone around her. She teaches her children by example. She shows her partner what respect looks like. She reminds her community that strength is not about self-destruction, it's about balance. So the power of a woman's heart as a source of nurture lies not just in her ability to give, but in her wisdom to give rightly. To pour from fullness, not emptiness, to love herself enough to say, I matter too. Because when a woman nurtures herself, she multiplies her ability to nurture the world around her. That is the unshakable power of her heart. It gives life, but it never loses itself in the process. Resilience in a woman's heart is something that cannot be fully measured, because it shows itself in ways the world often overlooks. Life does not hand out easy paths, and women have always known what it feels like to walk through storms that test their very being. A woman will face heartbreak, rejection, disappointment, betrayal, and countless responsibilities that feel too heavy for one set of shoulders to carry. Yet somehow she stands again, she bends, but she does not break. She cries, but she does not quit. She may sit in the ashes for a moment, but sooner or later she rises from them stronger than before. That is resilience, and it is one of the most powerful lessons the heart of a woman teaches us all. Resilience does not mean a woman never feels pain. In fact, her strength is revealed in her ability to feel deeply, to grieve, to break down, and still choose to stand back up. Too often people mistake resilience for hardness, but a hardened heart is not strength. It is survival with walls. True resilience is softer and more powerful. It allows a woman to remain open to love, to keep faith alive, and to keep moving forward even when life tries to hold her back. It is the quiet courage of a single mother working 2 jobs to feed her children. It is the determination of a woman who goes through betrayal yet chooses healing over bitterness. It is the faith of a grandmother who prays for her family every night despite her own struggles. That is resilience lived out in real time. Every trial that a woman faces becomes a classroom, pain becomes her teacher, loss becomes her lesson. Every scar on her heart is not a symbol of weakness but a certificate of survival, and with each challenge she grows stronger, not just for herself but for those around her. That is why resilience is contagious. When children watch their mother push forward through difficulties, they learn perseverance. When communities see women rise after being knocked down, they are reminded of what is possible. A woman's resilience is never just for her, it ripples outward and lifts others up too. But resilience doesn't happen automatically, it is built in the choices a woman makes day by day. She can choose to let circumstances define her, or she can choose to define herself in spite of circumstances. She can choose to let pain harden her, or she can choose to let it strengthen her. That choice, made repeatedly over time, shapes her into a force that nothing can break. And the beauty of it all is that resilience does not erase vulnerability, it embraces it. A woman's tears do not take away from her strength, they add to it. Her moments of rest are not weakness, they are wisdom. So the heart of a woman in its resilience reminds us that true power is not in never falling, but in rising every single time. Life may test her, storms may shake her, people may doubt her, but nothing can keep her down for long. Because inside her chest beats a heart that knows how to recover, rebuild, and rise again. That is resilience, unshakable, undeniable, and unstoppable. A woman's heart carries within it a compass that has guided her for generations, and that compass is called intuition. Intuition is not just a feeling or a random thought. It is a deep knowing that comes before the evidence, a quiet voice that speaks to her spirit when her mind cannot yet make sense of things. Many women have felt it. That nudge that tells her someone's words don't match their intentions, the uneasiness that warns her not to step into a situation, or the peace that assures her she is exactly where she needs to be. Society has often dismissed this as being too emotional or overreacting, but the truth is that intuition is one of the greatest gifts placed inside a woman's heart. It is a protective mechanism, a guiding light, and a form of wisdom that cannot always be explained, but must always be respected. From the time she is young, a woman learns to observe. She pays attention to tone, to body language, to energy, and to the unspoken truths hidden beneath what is seen. This sharp awareness develops into intuition, and when she learns to trust it, it can save her from heartache, disappointment, and even danger. The problem is that too often, the world conditions women to doubt themselves. They are told to ignore their feelings, to silence their instincts, or to prioritize logic over what they sense in their spirit. But ignoring intuition comes with a cost, because every time a woman silences that inner voice, she places herself in situations that her heart already knew were not right for her. Intuition is not about fear, it is about clarity. It does not speak in panic, it speaks in truth. Sometimes it whispers, sometimes it shouts, but it always aims to protect and to guide. A woman who honors her intuition honors her own worth. She recognizes that her feelings are not random, they are information. Just like her body signals hunger, pain, or fatigue, her spirit signals danger, alignment, or opportunity. Listening to that is a form of self-respect, and here's the beauty. Intuition is not only about avoiding what harms, it is also about recognizing what heals. That same inner compass that warns her against certain people or situations is the one that draws her toward opportunities, relationships, and paths that will help her grow. It is what allows her to sense when a person is genuine, when a decision aligns with her purpose, or when it is time to let go of something that no longer serves her. Trusting intuition is trusting that she has everything within her to make the right choices for her life. When a woman embraces her intuition, she steps into a higher level of confidence. She no longer seeks constant validation from others because she knows her truth before anyone else confirms it. She no longer entertains what feels wrong because she trusts that her heart knows better than her doubts. And when she teaches herself and the next generation to honor that inner voice, she passes down not just wisdom but protection. The unshakable power of a woman's heart lies in many things, but intuition is one of its strongest foundations. It is the inner compass that keeps her steady, the quiet strength that guards her steps, and the guiding light that never leaves her, even in the darkest times. The love that flows from a woman's heart is unlike any other. It has depth, patience, and endurance that cannot be easily shaken. A woman's love is often the force that holds families together, the light that lifts others out of their darkest seasons, and the foundation upon which relationships are built. When she loves, she does so with her whole being, mind, body, and soul. Her love is sacrificial, choosing to give even when it costs her time, energy, or comfort. Her love is consistent, showing up not only in words but in actions, in presence, and in loyalty. Yet with all that beauty, there lies a truth that every woman must learn. Love without boundaries becomes a pathway to exhaustion and even self-destruction. So many women have been conditioned to believe that the measure of their worth is in how much they can give without asking for anything in return. They pour themselves out endlessly, hoping that their love will heal the broken, fix the unfixable, or change those unwilling to grow. But in doing so, they forget that their love is not meant to be taken advantage of, it is meant to be valued. When a woman does not protect her love, she can find herself drained, unappreciated, and lost in the very relationships she thought her love would save. The lesson here is powerful. Love is a treasure, and like any treasure, it must be guarded with wisdom. True love is not about losing yourself to keep someone else whole. It is about giving in a way that honors your own dignity while also nurturing those around you. A woman's heart must learn that boundaries are not walls to keep people out, but gates that decide what and who is worthy of entry. When she loves wisely, she doesn't give access to everyone. She gives access to those who respect, honor, and reciprocate that love. Her love is not desperate, it is discerning. It does not beg to be seen. It shines brightly on its own and invites the right people to cherish it. When a woman chooses to love with boundaries, she sets a standard for her relationships. She teaches others how to treat her by the way she treats herself. She communicates that her love is strong enough to heal, soft enough to comfort, but also powerful enough to walk away from what diminishes her. And walking away does not mean she has less love. It means she has enough love for herself to not settle for less than she deserves. That is the highest form of love, loving yourself so deeply that you refuse to stay where love is absent, toxic, or one-sided. The boundless love of a woman, when rooted in self-respect, becomes transformational. It builds healthy families, sustains meaningful friendships, and inspires communities. It is love that does not burn out because it flows from a heart that honors itself first. The unshakable power of a woman's heart is not only in how much she loves, but in how wisely she chooses to love. And when she embraces this truth, her love becomes unstoppable, pure, powerful, and life-giving without ever losing itself in the process. The heart of a woman has always been a place of healing. It is where brokenness is soothed, where hope is restored, and where strength is rebuilt after life has done its damage. When others are in pain, it is often the touch, the words, or the presence of a woman that brings comfort. She knows how to listen without judgment, how to hold space without rushing, and how to give reassurance when the world feels like it is falling apart. This healing power is not something taught, it is something innate. It flows naturally because the heart of a woman carries within it compassion, empathy, and the ability to see beyond wounds to the possibility of wholeness. But while a woman is so often the healer for others, she must also learn the importance of healing herself. Too many times, women carry unspoken pain, childhood scars, broken relationships, disappointments, betrayals, and responsibilities that have weighed them down silently. They keep moving forward for the sake of their children, their families, or their jobs, but deep inside, they are hurting. And though they continue to give healing to others, they rarely stop to tend to their own wounds. This is where the shift must happen. A woman must understand that her own healing is not optional. It is necessary. She cannot truly live free, joyful, and whole if she continues to patch up everyone else's pain while ignoring her own. Healing is not weakness. Healing is courage. It takes courage to admit that you are hurting, to face the pain instead of hiding it, and to choose to work through it rather than burying it. For a woman, healing often means forgiving not for the sake of those who caused the pain, but for her own freedom. Forgiveness is not saying that what happened was okay. It is saying that she will no longer allow the pain to control her. It is releasing bitterness so her heart can breathe again. Healing also means giving herself permission to rest, to grieve, and to rebuild at her own pace. Every scar a woman carries tells a story, but those scars are not signs of defeat. They are proof of survival. They say, "I've been through something, but I'm still standing." And when she embraces her healing journey, her scars become testimonies. They give hope to others, reminding them that it is possible to endure hardship and still come out stronger. Healing turns pain into wisdom and wisdom into legacy. The beauty of a woman's heart is that once it is healed, it doesn't just hold that healing for itself, it multiplies it. A healed woman raises children who know love and security. A healed woman builds relationships that are rooted in respect and growth. A healed woman pours into her community with strength that cannot be shaken. The process may not be easy, and it may take time, but every step toward healing is a step toward freedom. The unshakable power of a woman's heart is that it can break and still mend. It can hurt and still love. It can be wounded and still heal. And once it heals, it does not just restore itself. It restores everyone connected to it. The heart of a woman is not only about what she gives today, but also about the seeds she plants for tomorrow. Every choice she makes, every value she lives by, and every act of love or resilience she demonstrates becomes part of the legacy she leaves behind. Legacy is not just about wealth, property, or material possessions. It is about the imprint of character, wisdom, and strength that carries forward into the next generation. A woman's heart, when aligned with purpose, has the power to shape futures long after her presence is gone. When a woman nurtures her children with patience, guidance, and love, she is building a legacy. When she teaches them to respect themselves and others, to work hard, and to believe in their worth, she is setting a standard that will echo through their lives. Sons raised by strong women learn how to honor women and walk with integrity. Daughters raised by strong women learn how to respect themselves, how to set boundaries, and how to never settle for less than they deserve. That is the ripple effect of her heart. The lessons she instills today will carry into homes, workplaces, and communities for generations to come. But legacy is not only about family. A woman builds legacy in every sphere she touches. The way she treats her friends, the way she serves her community, the way she carries herself in her career, all of these things send a message. Her presence becomes an example. People remember not just what she said, but how she made them feel, how she lifted them when they were low, and how she remained steadfast when others wavered. Even in small acts of kindness, a woman is leaving fingerprints on the world that cannot be erased. To build a lasting legacy, a woman must first understand her own value. She must believe that what she carries inside her heart matters, that her voice, her perspective, and her story are not insignificant. Too many women shrink themselves. thinking their contribution is too small to make a difference. But history shows us that some of the greatest changes have come from women who simply refused to stay silent, who dared to raise their children differently, who chose to live with integrity in a world that tried to break them. Legacy does not require fame, it requires faithfulness. The unshakable heart of a woman knows that legacy is not about perfection. It is about consistency. It is about showing up every day with love, discipline, and purpose. It is about planting seeds, even when you may not live to see them bloom. And when setbacks come, as they always do, legacy is built on the choice to rise again, to keep moving, to keep believing that your life has meaning. In the end, the legacy of a woman is the story her life tells. It is the love she gave, the values she lived by, the resilience she modeled, and the healing she passed on. Her heart becomes the foundation on which others stand, and her influence lives on long after her time. That is the true power of legacy, the unshakable power of a woman's heart reaching into the future. The unshakable power of a woman's heart is not one thing. It is many things working together, woven like threads into a masterpiece. It is the ability to nurture without losing herself, to rise from storms with resilience, to trust the intuition that guides her steps, to love deeply but wisely, to heal wounds both seen and unseen, and to build a legacy that outlives her. Every chapter of a woman's heart teaches us something about strength, about faith, and about the balance between sacrifice and self-respect. When we look at the heart of a woman, we are looking at the foundation of families, the backbone of communities, and the bridge that carries generations forward. That is why it is so important to value it, to protect it, and to honor it. Because when a woman's heart is whole, everything around her flourishes. Children grow in security, relationships thrive in respect, and societies are strengthened by the wisdom she carries. To every woman listening, never underestimate what beats inside your chest. Your heart is not weak because it feels. It is powerful because it endures. It is not fragile because it loves. It is unshakable because it chooses love even after pain. To every man listening, understand that to honor a woman's heart is to honor life itself. When you protect her, uplift her, and walk beside her, you are protecting and uplifting the very force that sustains humanity. The message is simple but life-changing. A woman's heart is not to be overlooked, undervalued, or silenced. It is to be respected, nurtured, and celebrated, because within it lies nurture, resilience, intuition, love, healing, and legacy, the very qualities that keep the world alive. The unshakable power of a woman's heart is a gift, and when we recognize it, we do not just change her life, we change the world.